So that kind of, led us into today's webinar, which I wanted to give you some actionable steps, but also some things that kind of reminders and things that I think that we know to do, say we're going to do, plan to do, organize, think about, overthinking, whatever, and don't often do. So there's 5 things. So this is not a super long webinar, unless I just get super wordy and we get to chatting, which happens. But there are, let's see, 2 things that are specific action and 3 things that are more not quite as tangible. All right, so the very first one is actionable. 2017, this is a great time to start implementing those things that you say you need to do, thought about doing, want to do, but something always comes up, right? So maybe, like in June, like I talked about this, and I'm guilty of the exact same thing. We've had Diva Success Sisters, and I've been saying, no, we need to do Mastermind. We need to do something that is closer knit, that is more focused, and that is more based on accountability. And I was like, well, we can't do that during the summertime. We can't do that during the craziness of the holidays. We can't do that, whatever. You know what? Now's the time. Now's the time when you need to get started and have some sort of weekly check-in with your team once a month. If you do a meeting once a month, that's fantastic. And again, kudos to you, because there's a lot of team members that do not do that. But having a weekly check-in, and I personally love Zoom for that. Zoom or Skype, okay, is another good one. And it's just a quick check-in. It's just a quick accountability. In October, the end of October last year, actually it was Halloween weekend, so I may as well say November of last year, I went to a conference, and when we came home, I was so fired up and excited for the conference that I posted in the event, does anyone want to do like a mastermind type of thing? Like I said, I so much enjoyed just the synergy of what happens when you get together and get focused on the same goal. Does anybody want to do a mastermind? Well, of the 400 people that went, and however many Zuckerberg let see my post, about 40 said yes. When it came right down to it, we're down to 9, okay, that actually have stuck to it. And every single Tuesday, we hop on Zoom, and it has been the best thing that I have done for my business. The accountability, the brainstorming, all of that is, literally, I can't even put into words. So this is something I'm going to suggest you guys do. And like I said, started with 400 to about 35, 40, and now down to 9. But you know what? The 9 of us are rocking. So you can do that with your team, and just know the law of averages. There's going to be, there's sometimes when we come in and only 6 of us are there. But the thing about it is there has to be so much good that people don't want to miss it. We've had people like yesterday was Tuesday, one of the girls came in, she was literally on an airplane. Well, this is the mastermind group would not pertain to you guys, but I want to start them. I want us to have mastermind groups within Party Clan Divas that are going to kind of replace Diva Success Sisters. And I'm trying to figure out when, really and truly, that I can do it, but you have to have a level of commitment to it. Like it's big. So what I'm thinking is maybe we have a mastermind check-in, and then we brainstorm and we talk, and then you guys have it with your team, So we may have, and I'm thinking we will have like Mastermind Monday so that you guys can have Team Tuesday. Because what happens is we have ours on Tuesday, and we talk about all the things we need to start doing as of Wednesday, and that's kind of how our week rotates. And so I'm thinking we will have Mastermind Monday, and I'll probably have several of them, and so that you guys can then kind of take it to the streets, so to speak, on Tuesday, because hopefully all of you are using our system where you're doing Team Tuesday. And if you're not, this is a great time to start. And you should, yes, good. You should make sure that you have some time on Tuesday that you are connecting with your team. This is a screenshot from Zoom. It's zoom.us. I do not get any kickback for promoting them whatsoever, but I will tell you, I love them. I absolutely love them. There is so much that it does. You can pay for however many people you need to have on the screen. You can see here that people can come in by video or by phone. They can choose whether they want their actual live video going on, or if they have an avatar, you can share your screen, you can record it, you know, all kinds of stuff that it will do for a very, very inexpensive price. I just love it. Oh, and you can, there's a great mobile app. So you can hop on your tablet or your phone. So if you have somebody who doesn't have a computer or needs to tune in during their lunch break or whatever, they can literally do it from their phone or their tablet. So there's that. I love them, but start now. Like, your homework is to, next Tuesday, have a Team Tuesday meeting, whether it's Zoom, whether it's, you know, whatever. Facebook Live doesn't work as well because that's just you talking, and I can't stand the delay that is on Facebook Live. I know that it is not a perfected, you know, whatever, and that there was a delay with Periscope and Meerkat and whatever, but there's about a 5-ish second delay on Facebook Live, and it drives me crazy. There is absolutely no delay on Zoom, and it really makes you feel like you're all kind of like sitting in the same room together. And so you can really cultivate the sisterhood, really cultivate and get everybody fired up and excited. And here's the thing I'm going to suggest to you: show up looking like a hot mess sometimes. Do not spend the hour before. And I hope you guys know this. When I do a Facebook Live, yeah, I'm going to try to put a little bit of makeup on and not look quite so bad. But really and truly, like, nobody cares what you look like when you show up to these meetings. I am not any less effective because I didn't put makeup on today, you know? And so we've got to teach our team that now, and please understand me here, I'm all about appearances. I think you have to stay professional and stuff like that. But I also think there has to be some level of, you know, that we're all in this thing together and you don't have to be perfect to do what we do. Anyway, look at that. I spent a third of our time talking on the first one. I told you I was going to get worried. All right, which kind of leads us into the next one, which is to cultivate leadership. One of the struggles as a leader is to feel like you are the only one in charge. And there's kind of two things that happen. Number one, you have the kind of people that get so overwhelmed because they literally feel like they have to manage everything. Okay? Then you have the other kind of leaders that get that feel like they are being assaulted or you know, whatever, if another leader comes in or if another leader suggests something different or whatever. You know, by all means, if somebody is trying to step in and help you, sister, let them help. Like, it is crazy to me how I hear somebody that says, you know, well, this, you know, I'm here and this person, she's on my team, but she's here, or even that she's here and she's trying to tell my team what they need to be doing. Like, do you know how crazy that sounds? Like, do you realize it takes a village? It is the exact same concept. Is if you know, and if it reinforces especially what it is that you are saying, then by all means give them a voice. It takes a village to raise a child. Y'all, it takes a village to have a business. You have to have all of that come in. So please do not ever think, nobody is telling you you're doing it wrong, but sometimes a different perspective can really, really help. But in 2017, I want you to focus on creating leaders within your team, because number one, you can't be the only leader on your team. For starters, your success plan doesn't work that way. But for seconds, the absolute fastest way to burn yourself out and to make you hate your business and everybody in it is to try to do everything. So you know what? If you're doing that weekly check-in, give somebody 10 minutes every week to talk about something they're great at. And give somebody else 10 minutes to talk about something they're not great at or that they need help on. Okay? And let that kind of mold the conversation. Now, you have to obviously not let it become a sad, sad sob, whatever, but you can focus on building those leaders and giving people opportunities, whether it is on those weekly Zoom check-ins or whatever, or whether it is, in a live meeting. Give people the opportunity to grow, because just like with children, if you are supporting them, they'll go out there and try to hit the ball, or they'll go out there and step up on stage or whatever. But the thing, my girls, anything that they've ever done, like, think about if you've got kids, like even from kindergarten all the way up. I mean, my child's graduating, high school this year, but every single thing I've been, at every single thing she's done, the very first thing she does, and every child does, is they walk out on that stage, or they walk up to bat, or they walk up whatever, and they search for you, all right? And that's because sometimes just a look is enough for them to be like, all right, mom's here, we got this, all right, cool, all right? Your kids on your team need to be able to do the same thing. You need to be able to say, listen, you are absolutely phenomenal at booking parties. Can you spend 10 minutes on next week's check-in or whatever, talking about that? Don't overcomplicate it. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I just think you're so good at it. I'd love if you just kind of share and they get another perspective. Okay, that's going to give them a huge vote of confidence. That's a same kid looking for you on the sidelines. All right. Here's the second thing that it does. It gives another voice. So one of the things that used to always blow my mind, I remember I went to a huge leadership training, or not really one leadership, but a big training. I took my top leader with me so that we could split up and go into different meetings, right? So I go into one, she goes into another. Well, what she didn't know is I had written the content for the other one because I was really good at it, and it was green lights, you guys, something that I've been training since like the beginning of time, right? She comes walking out of that meeting, you guys. I've at least done the same training 10 times for my team. She comes walking out of the meeting and she goes, oh my God, that was like the best training. You're never gonna believe what they taught. They talked about green lights. Have you ever heard this? I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How many times? But what I realized is, how like when your mom says something, you don't listen, but when your crazy aunt says it, you listen? It's that same concept, you guys. Sometimes you've got to hear it from a different voice. You've got to hear it from someone else. It just kind of reiterates it. So in 2017, let these girls lead. Even if, by the way, they aren't leaders yet. See, they may have been in the business for like 2 minutes, but if there's something that they're great at or something that they bring to the table, you need to cultivate that. And you need to really let that grow, because if you pour into somebody the goodness of what other people are not seeing, or maybe they are not quite confident in, because the funny thing is that a lot of things that are our strengths, we aren't quite sure if they're our strengths. We're like, I think I'm good at that, but that person might be better. So when you pour that into them, you're just going to see that flower grow. The next thing is to show them how it's done. It's that balance. You have to be a great consultant. There is nothing that drives me more crazy than when I see a top leader who has essentially quit and they're sitting back on their haunches and pulling that check. And they're telling people how to do it. I want you to show them how to do it. I want you to go out there and walk the talk and, and understand it, because the thing is, it's going to make you so much more effective, but it is also going to be what is building your foundation. You have got to always have your very own customers. You make a bigger percentage of that anyway, but you've got to have that kind of consistency. Kim Duke put a thing out today that said, do you know what your bread and butter is? Do you know where your money really comes from? The consistent, not the up and down. That's going to be from your business, not your team. I had leaders sometimes that were like, I'm taking a month off. Are you kidding me? Gulf Power doesn't take a month off. My bills don't take a month off. Do yours? I've never had a bill take a month off. So you can only control what you can control. And you have to show them the consistency. So, my word for the year is consistency. And if you model that and you show what consistent work looks like, then other people will do that too. Not just because you tell them. I tell the story that my mother was a smoker and told me every day, don't smoke. So you know what I did? I turned about 12 and I started to smoke. Okay? She told me not to. All the time she told me not to. But what she showed me was that smoking was cool, or smoking was fun, or smoking was whatever. I'm happy to say she and I have both quit, but it's a good, example of how what we say sometimes goes unheard. It is what we do that makes an impact, for the long haul. All right, here's another tangible one, and this one is fun you can start it in January. We're only, 11 days in? 11 days in to carry through the rest of the year. This year, I want you to do Beat the Leader. This was the #1 incentive that I did with my girls that they loved. And it was a month, every single month, 12 months out of the year that I did this. These are little bitty ribbons, okay? They are like 2 inches by 4 inches, something like that. And I want to say I got them from, I think it was called ribbonsgalore.com. And I ordered a pink and a purple. And they're literally like 10 cents. All right, we're talking super cheap. This is even their image. I didn't even worry about it. I don't care. They let you write on it. It's super, super cheap. But what I did was every time someone beat the leader, they got a ribbon. So you guys know that one of my biggest selling tools for the recruiting I talk about is my brag book. And I used to, every opportunity that I have to give somebody something to put in the brag book, I did it. But these were great. And I remember one of my girls, the same girl that I took that leadership training, now that I'm thinking about it, I had to give her one of each of these at one of the meetings. And it was really funny because it just gives so much competition, right? But it's friendly competition, it's fun competition. And I had to give her 2 of them. And she danced with it. She got so excited. And she goes, girl, I'm going to get so many of these. I'm going to wallpaper my bedroom. And the thing was, it became a challenge. Well, one of the biggest months that I had or whatever, she knew how much I had sold that month. I got out of the business, was doing Party Plan Divas. It was like 3 years since I've been out of the business. And she called me and she goes, I want you to know I beat your best month. It was by like $2, but she didn't care. She had beat my best month. It had made such an impact. I started that in 2003. And it had made such an impact on her that even after I had left the business, was no longer her leader, was going into coaching full-time or whatever, she still wanted to beat the leader. So what this did, every month on the first of the month, I would run the report for the month before, and anybody who was higher in sales or recruited more people got to beat the leader. What is magical about this is, besides the fact that obviously it's a simple recognition that you can give and people will love it, it kept my butt motivated. Because you've got to build your own business. You've got to do your own thing. If your girls are always better than you in sales and recruiting, sister, you're not doing this business right. Think about how much more successful you would be, right? So this was my all-time favorite, and something that I would suggest, and you guys can snag this image or whatever. It is in the training library, and you can use it. And you can say, challenge yourself. Is it scary? Absolutely. Are you going to have to give this ribbon out? Sometimes. All right, but your challenge should be to not. And here's the other thing too. If they can't see your numbers, so there was a few times where they came really close. They didn't necessarily beat me, and I gave them the award anyway. Because, again, it was such a great motivation. But it works to not only motivate your team, but it's going to keep you too. All right. And the last thing for 2017, I want to say, is to just not get too emotionally invested in your team. Okay. I have seen a lot of posts recently where people are kind of suffering alongside their team. And I want you to make sure that in this new year that you keep a very professional boundary, and that you keep a very understanding, I don't know, the other word is boundary. Here's the thing. We have to be empathetic. We have to support one another. We need to be each other's biggest cheering squads ever. But we are still professionals, and this is still very much a business. And you want to cultivate leaders. You want to create business owners, not followers, not minions, not people who only do something when you're handing out some reward for it or whatever. This is a year for you to be a little bit selfish and take care of your business and your livelihood. And the thing is, you need to show that. You need to mirror that so that other people will do it too. Not in such a way that everybody's like, oh, look at her. Yeah, she doesn't care. She's got, whatever taken care of. But there's a huge difference between being empathetic and understanding and supportive and literally kind of suffering alongside your team. I remember when my top leader, I've talked about her a lot, it's the same girl. She got a job. I was crushed. She got a job. Now, her getting a job had absolutely nothing to do with me, but she was my top leader. I knew as soon as she got a full-time job that it was going to hurt her direct sales business, and I took it so personally, because had she just done all the things she said she was going to do, which is true for all of us, then she wouldn't have needed that job. But I took it so personal when she got the job, and it became, kind of an issue. What ended up happening is she couldn't stand the job because she realized she could make so much more. So she only worked for about 6 months, and then, kind of cranked up her direct sales business, and the rest is history. She's now still doing just the direct sales business. But I realized how personal I took that when it really, truly had nothing to do with me. So, as we're gearing up, we're getting excited, 2017, it's fresh, it's new, so many things that you can do and recreate and be different. So embrace that this time of year and put these 5 things into action. Does anybody have any questions?